In today's video, I'm giving you the 7 signs that you are doing too much for a man. Now, I don't care about your relationship status, whether you're single, in a relationship, married for many years. I believe every woman should watch this video because come to think of it, loving a man unconditionally, giving him everything you have, doing everything for him, giving him your understanding, your support, your compassion, and then getting not much back in return is truly the hallmark of being in an unhealthy relationship, being in an unhealthy dynamic. And I see so many amazing, smart, brilliant women be in relationships where they're doing everything, giving everything, loving this man unconditionally, and being taken for granted. So, share this video with your girlfriends and watch all the signs I'm giving you. If you have a couple of signs in your relationship, then that's a red alert that you want to dial back on how much you're doing and giving for this person. But if you find that all the signs are present in your relationship, this is truly a situation which should alarm you and which should make you seek out professional support because it's unhealthy. Healthy relationships are based on balance and mutual love and effort. So let's see if you have a healthy relationship or not, and whether or not you are doing too much for the man in your life. Now, sign number 1 that you're doing too much for the man in your life is when you're always the one initiating. So if you're always the one saying, let's meet, we should do this, we should spend more time together, let's make a holiday there, I'm happy to pay for it. If you're always the one calling, if you're always the one texting, if you're always the one checking in on them. And this could also be happening in friendships, right? It's not just about your romantic relationship. But if you're always the one initiating for more quality time together, then this is a signal that this relationship is out of balance. Because a healthy relationship requires that both parties, both the man and the woman, both friends, are looking after each other, are investing in each other, are initiating plans and conversation with each other. So the first sign of you doing too much for a man is that you're always the one finding yourself, picking up the phone, making the plans, suggesting dates, suggesting doing the next thing. The second sign that you're doing too much for a man is when you are putting his needs above your own. I see this in so many romantic relationships where the woman is all about the guy's career and her career is put to the sideline. If he is tired at the end of the day, she has to put the kids to bed, even if she's also been out all day working and it was his turn to put the kids to bed. So if you find that in your relationship, your man's needs are always the more important ones, and he's always asserting his needs and what he wants, whereas your needs are always on the second priority list, or maybe even last in the list if you have children, then this is a sign you're doing too much for the man. And in my Elevate group coaching program, which is currently enrolling, I teach my clients how to see themselves as the center of their lives. And this is so important if you want to have a healthy relationship, because if you don't treat yourself as the center of your own life, then you will attract partnerships and you will attract relationships where you will attract a narcissist or somebody who's totally obsessed with themselves and has no space in their life for your needs. Now, sign number 3 that you are doing too much for a man is when you make excuses for a man's bad behavior. I literally had this client in Elevate Relationships group where her husband openly flirted with the waitress and she just refused to see it. She, of course, told this to us, but then she kept giving us all these rationalizing reasons as to why he flirted with the waitress and why he's just a friendly guy and, he's just a charming guy. And her husband literally commented on the length of the waitress's dress and how sexy that was, which is just very openly inappropriate to do. And so it's quite possible that if you are tolerating bad behavior and making excuses for a man's behavior, you're trying to rationalize a man's jerky behavior or bad behavior, you are giving too much, and this is becoming unhealthy in the relationship because, again, you think that ignoring that one really bad, obvious flirty comment on the waitress is showing your love to him and how much you love him and how much you trust him. But to a man, that signals that he can really do this with you. He can really take you for granted. He can really party all night and come home at 5 in the morning. And then you're going to just be like, oh, honey, did you have a good time? Instead of understanding that, hey, your partner should not be partying all night, especially if he's doing it very frequently. So a lot of the times when I talk about giving too much to a man, it's not just in terms of material resources, though that could be the case. It's also in terms of the amount of disproportional understanding and compassion you provide to a man, despite knowing at some deep level that he's behaving in ways that are actually not healthy or not acceptable inside a healthy relationship. So sign number 4 that you're giving too much to a man is when you feel emotionally drained in a relationship. So if you find that you are often feeling like all the burden of the relationship is on you, if you don't offer compassion, understanding, if you don't always choose your words, then the relationship will fall apart. If you find that you're the one who's giving a lot, but you're not receiving a lot, and that leaves you feeling emotionally exhausted and drained in the relationship, then that's a sign that you're giving too much to this man. Remember that healthy relationships uplift us. They pick us up when we're down. They don't put us down further. So if you're finding that you're often emotionally exhausted in your relationship because you feel like it's all on you and you're the one doing everything and giving everything and not receiving much in return, then that is a red flag that you're giving too much to this man. Now, sign number 5 that you're giving too much to a man is when you feel like he's taking you for granted. And this looks like not feeling appreciated for your efforts in the relationship. So even though you might find that you are literally doing your best and you're overextending yourself in the relationship to really please the partner in your life or the man in your life, somehow it's not enough. It's never enough. And the efforts you make, not only are they not mutual, but your efforts are not even recognized or appreciated. So if you find yourself feeling like, oh my God, I wish he would just say thank you, or I wish he would just recognize that I spent all this time doing X and Y for him, and say something about that, acknowledge that. If you're finding yourself craving for that appreciation, the chances that you are overgiving or doing too much for this man are really high. Now, sign number 6 that you're doing too much for a man is when your happiness and sense of validation rests on him and your sense of self-worth comes from his validation. So this is really dangerous. Like if you are hyper focused on this man and you're hyper focused on making him happy because that makes you happy, being good to him, looking after him, taking care of him, taking care of his needs makes you happy, that is a parent-child dynamic. It's not a romantic dynamic by any means. You have put all your focus on this one man, this one partner, and now their happiness has become your happiness. And this could be true for parenting relationships. I can't imagine that my happiness is connected to my child's happiness, but it would never be the same way in a romantic partnership. Also, don't forget that if you are relying so much for your happiness on your partner, you are literally outsourcing your sense of self-worth and you're literally outsourcing your control on your own level of happiness in your own life. And this also signals to me that you have lost some independence and you have lost some freedom in this relationship, because in a healthy relationship, my happiness is always my responsibility. And of course, I want my husband to be happy. Of course, you want your partner to be happy, but their happiness is not your responsibility. So this is again signaling a toxic dynamic at some level where you have become overtly reliant or overtly dependent on your man, on your partner for your happiness. Now, we've come to the last sign really fast in this video. So well done for making it so far. Sign number 7, and I believe this is a big one, that you're doing too much for a man is when you handle the majority of the responsibilities in the relationship. So inside Elevate, we literally work with clients where they're the ones paying the rent, they're the ones going grocery shopping, and he's the one sitting on the couch watching news, playing PlayStation, and applying for jobs. So the woman is doing the financial support and she's doing the emotional labor as well. And she's frustrated, she's exhausted, and she's tired, but it's her good girl pull. Like, she feels like when you love somebody, this is how you love them. You do everything for them. But if you've been following my work for some time now, you know I am big on maintaining polarity in romantic relationships. And as I said, right at the start of the video, I said that even friendships, they should be balanced. So you should never be finding yourself having the responsibility of planning where we're meeting, then driving everyone there, then paying for everyone. But even more so in a romantic relationship, you don't want to be in this role. In a romantic relationship, you want to maintain polarity, which means that you want to be more in your feminine receiving energy and you want the man to be more in his giving masculine energy. So if you have found that in your relationship you have most of these signs and you nodded your head, then you do not have healthy polarity in your relationship. What you really have in your relationship is you wearing the pants, you being in your masculine, and your partner being in his feminine, and receiving from you your love, your compassion, your support, your financial support. And this is really unhealthy. And if you check in with yourself, you will know that when you are in this role of overgiving and doing too much for a man, you are actually not feeling happy about it. But most of you are doing it because you feel like this is the right way to be in a relationship and this is the right way to love somebody. So if this resonated and it was helpful, let me know in the comments by saying helpful below. I love hearing from all of you. And also use these points to reflect on your relationship. Like, where does your relationship stand on, is it 7 on 7 on these factors, which would be a red alert? Or is it like 3 on 7 on these factors, which would still be something to be concerned about? And don't forget, help is available. If you go to my website, samiwunder.com/contact, you can book a free 30-minute consult with my team to understand how you can get my support and the support of my brilliant team of relationship coaches inside my Elevate program, which is currently enrolling. I love you and I hope this was helpful.